be impressed by my shirt, my new shirt, my Michael Kors shirt, $98 shirt. I need you to be impressed by that. But then I also, more than that actually, what you really should be impressed by, Marshalls, look at that, went down to $30 and I got it for $23. And because my wife has some kind of membership there, we got even more of a discount. I am very proud of my new shirt. This is a great shirt and it will last a long time. I'm proud to own it. But more so than the fact that I now own a $98 shirt is that I actually only own a $23 shirt. And that is the wisdom of Nick Shell. Let's see, let's make this about hair loss somehow. Okay, I got an idea. I just look at my phone and I'll see what comments I've got recently from, a new video I made called Best Psychological Hair Loss Advice You've Received. Jack Burt. Every time Jack Burt leaves a comment, I always say, I already like Jack Burt immediately because Jack is my father's name and my son's name. So I already like Jack Burt. So I really wanted to know because I'm making it a norm these days to say this channel is not about teaching guys how to stop or prevent hair loss. I have no interest in talking about that. It really comes down to it. I don't care. I want to help guys overcome hair loss. That's what actually matters. That's my role. And so I was asking, okay guys, those of you who are along with my plan here, tell me what you've learned. Whether it was for me or someone else, what have you learned psychologically that has helped you deal with your hair loss? And here's what Jack Burt had to say. He says, if you know who you are and have a good relationship with yourself, hair loss is irrelevant. If you don't know who you are, start thinking, interacting with others, observe what is going on around you. Preventing possible hair loss when you are insecure doesn't put an end to your insecurities, but only to a trigger of your insecurities, your loss of hair. Many wise men in history never seem to have an issue with their hair loss. And he goes on to say this. He says, I'm pretty young, I'm 19, and I still have a lot of hair. Some years ago, I noticed some minor recession that got me thinking. The last few years of my life, my late teens, have been life-changing. I have grown so much more confident just by spending time with myself, but also by interacting with many people. This is just my second year in college. I noticed that most older men in my life who I respected, like my father, never really cared about hair loss. While studying many philosophers, activists, scientists who had horrible hair loss, they never seemed to be affected by it. That is my best guess on how confident they had to be to achieve what they did. Your channel has obviously been helpful too, since I've been watching you for over 2 years. I have so much that I want to discover and achieve in life. Can't let hair loss get in the way. It's natural. Large companies will help you fix your appearance. They prey on your insecurities. To an important degree, they create. Not too many people worried about hair loss 100 years ago, end quote. Now, I understand that that's easier when someone else says it. That's why I'm wanting to read this, because I'm nearly 20 years older than Jack Burt. I really am. I'm nearly 20 years older. So when I say these things, it's coming from a man who's lived a lot more life than the people watching the videos. But this guy's 19, and he already gets it, and he has such an advantage. Jack Burt, he, like me, could lose all his hair in the next year, and he'd still be the same person. He would be just as confident, and he'd know who he is, because he knows this nugget of truth. He knows this nugget of truth. So I'm so happy and I'm so proud to feature this comment from a 19-year-old guy, because I always say, what I would love to do, here's the thing. Why are we fascinated? Why are we secretly fascinated with time travel? Because if the version of time travel exists that we want it to, we would be able to go back as ourselves in this same body, not a duplicate of ourselves, but go back and change time, knowing what we know now. If we could only go back and change time, how much better our life could be. If only we knew all these things, if only we were the confident person we are now and the person full of knowledge that we are now. And you say, well, Nick, but I'm only 19. Well, okay. Well, what you know now as a 19-year-old, you could go back when you were a 10-year-old, 13-year-old, etc. So the more we live, the more we learn. And if only we could go back and live our life differently, we could have a better present day, right? Exactly. That's why this channel exists. It gives you a daily dose of wisdom from a guy who's lived a lot longer than you and has learned a lot of things that you don't need to waste time learning by living them out and not living the hard way. You can just hear me say it. Or you can hear a 19-year-old who watches my channel say the same thing. Imagine how many people who watch my channel continue to waste their lives for this created problem of hair loss that wasn't a problem before. It's the problem that you make it. And of course, the social media doesn't help. It doesn't help when you're basing your identity on other people instead of your own accomplishments, knowing who you are as a person. But how can you, let me close on this ironic note. Self-esteem. Think about that word, self-esteem. And yet, and that's a disadvantage that younger guys have, because for them, they're so used to their phone and they're so used to interacting with people through this that their brains think differently than a guy as old as me, because their identity is based on other people constantly on a constant news feed. And I never did that. And I think that's something we need to realize too. So closing thought, when you're on your phone and you're about to post something, just think, are you doing the same thing that was the witch or whatever on Snow White did? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? All right, social media, people on my Facebook friends and Instagram. All right, what do you think? Do I look pretty good? Look pretty handsome? Let me tell a joke. Let me make you laugh. Because I'm funny, right? Please confirm my identity. Please confirm that I'm handsome. Please confirm that I'm funny, that I'm cool. I need this. I need you. Who am I without you? My self-esteem is based on you. And I think that amount of knowledge I just hurled at you, I think now we're getting somewhere, aren't we? Because my generation was not accustomed to building their self-esteem on other people. We know who we are, and we know who we're not, and we're not interested in competing with everybody on a live feed. Who cares? Do you know the last time I scrolled Facebook, and I'm not making this up? The week after Trump won the election. And that's when I realized, this is silly. This is a waste of time. I'm not going to scroll through other people's lives anymore. And I haven't. It's been over 2 years. Imagine how freeing that is. And I'm almost 40, so imagine how freeing it would be for you if you weren't scrolling through Facebook and Instagram. Ultimately, when a message is being sent to you, well, hey, are you as funny as that guy? Do you have as much hair as that guy? Are you as cool as that guy? Is your girlfriend as pretty as his girlfriend? Could you ever get a girl that's as pretty as her? So you're comparing yourself to others. And then that is building up a form of your own identity, which is complete irony. That is the wisdom of Nick Shell with special guest, 19-year-old Jack Burt. We can keep this conversation going in the comments right here.